So we saw more or less all the stuff dealing with the video. Now let's talk about the playback capability of this device here. Noticed some reduction for concerned features of the from the Galaxy S4. For instance, the first step, we cannot reproduce here MKV file for what concerned audio playback. We didn't have any kind of problem in the Galaxy S4. Here into the Galaxy Note 3, we just can reproduce the video, not the audio playback. This is really a pity. This is the 720p, and here we have the 1080p. So just video, no audio for what concerns the MKV file. No problem for what concerns MP4, and very weirdly for what concerns Windows Media Video, but we do have problem for what concerns DivX video. This is really strange. This is DivX video. I cannot reproduce it, but we can reproduce the XVID video like this one. This is a 1080p, no kind of problem at all. And we don't even have problem in reproducing, of course, needless to say, MP4 video. Let me lower the volume a little bit. And this is really strange. We don't have any kind of problem in reproducing Windows Media Video file. This is a 480p video, both audio and video. Then we have the 720p Windows Media Video file, great for what concerns audio and video, no kind of problem. This is quite uncommon. I mean, it's not easy to find a device able of reproducing a Windows Media Video file, especially the 1080p one like this one, which is extremely heavy, but these can be reproduced without any kind of problem. But we cannot reproduce DivX or MKV file for what concern audio playback. Of course, if you start using a third-party player like Dice Player, you won't have problem in reproducing any kind of video formats with hardware acceleration to this Galaxy Note 3. So we saw more or less all the stuff dealing with the video playback. I don't know if I forgot to tell you, but of course you can even zoom in while playback video like this, which is really nice. We can zoom a particular part of the video and move around, like this. Very interesting. So I was telling you, this is more or less all the stuff dealing with the video playback. Now let's talk about the audio playback quickly. We don't have any kind of problem with audio playback. The audio, sorry, what did I open up? Here we go. The music player is more or less the same of the Galaxy S4. We have this music square, genres, artists, songs, files, playlist, all that stuff. What is really interesting here is that we have something new for concern the equalizer, like this. If we get into the settings, we have few more stuff for the equalizer. We have adapt sound, which is pretty good, which I do suggest you to try, because it does perform some kind of audiometer test for your ears, and you can adjust perfectly the sound of the music of the speaker for your ears. This is really good. Speaking about sound alive, we have this new way of equalizing. At least I don't remind to have these kind of equalizer inside the Galaxy S4. We have these kind of metrics where we can choose our way of emphasizing music from vocal, treble, bass and instrument. Here we have few after which I cannot select because I don't have inserted in headphones right now, but we have tube amplifier effect or virtual sample wide channels, or we have these are for reverb. We have small room, large room and coarsened whole. But we can even, of course, change the various band frequencies for concern the equalizer, and even select 3D, bass, clarity. Already these are preset, which are to me definitely not that good. It's better, in my opinion, just to have top sound, or at least working of the single bands of the equalizer. The audio of the headphones is pretty good, pretty high, wouldn't have that kind of problem, any kind of problem, sorry. It is pretty good, even the speaker here, not bad. And you know, this is a very good device for listening to music. We can even reproduce, if I'm not wrong, 24-bit 196 kilohertz by files like FLAC files. Then what else? We even have the lock screen playback controls, which are pretty handy. Unfortunately, after the Galaxy S3, Samsung learned that they must get back to the playback control into the lock screen. Thanks, Samsung. The last things that I want to talk to you about the multimedia side is the watch on feature. It's definitely the same that we could find inside the Galaxy S4. We have all the stuff dealing with the TV programs here, just for you, favorites, depending on your favorite channel, of course, TV show. We have movies, between the movies you can find in TVs and the one you can rent from directly from Samsung, for instance, sports, of course. And we have the normal channel guide, which is pretty handy and depends, of course, on the timeline and on the channel itself. This is really useful. Of course, you can always set up your remote here, which is working really good, and that we can even have directly access into the notification panel like this. You can see, and you can hide it. Very nice, and it's working pretty good. Of course, you can set up your favorite TV depending on what you have. So these should be more or less everything dealing with this Samsung Galaxy Note 3 for what concerns the multimedia side. I hope I didn't forget anything, but you know, there were so many things dealing with this device and the multimedia aspect that I'm sure I will. Forgive me for anything I forgot, and anyway, you can ask me into the comment if you want. Once more, thanks for watching, and bye from TechnoLost.